everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Books and Banter, your Medina Library's video blog as to what the experts are reading. No experts this week, so you get me again. We're going to do a blurb edition, Fast and Furious, so let's get right into it. Today, I'm going to focus on two books, two debut authors. Both use their setting as a major plot point. First one, Julia Keller, A Killing in the Hills. Huge publicity on this one. Lots of great reviews. Lots of people really loved it. What we got here is it's set in Acres Gap, West Virginia, which is kind of they're going through a bit of a depression. The economy's down. The drug trade, I guess if you will, has kind of picked up, and that's really the backdrop for this book. It's the folks that are fighting to keep the drugs out of the town and those that are kind of profiting off of it. It uses the rural West Virginia setting as a big plot point. It comes into play with a lot of characters, how it's developed and whatnot. What we have is Belle, who's a county prosecutor, trying to keep the drugs out of the county. There's a murder right away. It kind of hooks you in right away a little bit. A guy walks into a diner, kills 3 old people right in front of the entire gathered community. Belle's daughter witnesses this crime, so she kind of goes off on her own to solve the crime, which of course is not going to lead to anything good, while Belle does the police way, goes with the police and works to solve the crime. I gotta admit, I didn't really care for this book too much. It just did not quite hook me. It did not get into me. Again, the beginning of this scene was very nice. I liked the cover. The writing wasn't poor or anything like that. It just never really got into it. I felt the middle was kind of blah. One of the things that critics really liked about this was that you learn about Belle's past. You know she's an orphan right away, but it kind of dulls out slowly her life and how she came to be the county prosecutor. To me, though, I didn't care. It just got old. I just wasn't that interested in her. So for me to compare to a wine, beginning, nose, bouquet, presentation, nice, mid-palate finish, yeah, nothing. I'm going to pair this guy with a cheap red wine. Get your oak leaf, your Fetzer, your Woodbridge. You drink one of those Merlots, yeah, you know it's Merlot, but that's about it. CJ Box fans, Tony Hillerman fans, Nevada Bar, those folks are probably going to enjoy that book. Just not for me. There's a bazillion other books out there that I'm more interested in. One, though, that I did like, again, debut author here, Clayton Lindemuth, Cold Quiet Country. This is set in 70s Wyoming. Again, it's very rural, so there's that fear of kind of the outsiders. Because it's set in the 70s, there's like no cell phones, so that's kind of interesting how the police go about their day, their investigation. I love the cover on this, just kind of this bleak, white, looks cold, looks chilly, like I want to wrap up in a big winter coat, kind of like today. But it's very fitting, so I like the presentation on this one. At its heart, so against that backdrop, you have in the town of Bittersmith, you have the final day of Sheriff Bittersmith, who also the town is named after him. He's just a despicable character, but makes him interesting. There aren't really any heroes in this book. All the folks are kind of, they have issues. There are a lot of anti-heroes, but you see qualities in them that are redeeming that you can relate to. So anyway, Sheriff Bittersmith, there's a murder of a local rancher / militiaman, which comes into play, makes it a little bit interesting. The main suspect, Gail, who's his farmhand, has taken off, and the rancher's daughter is also missing. So that kind of sets it up. Gail, he knows that Bittersmith is going to come after him, so he kind of holes up into this little farm and prepares for a big showdown, which of course happens, while the sheriff kind of tracks him down. There's a high body count in this book, but it's not graphic. It's not overly done. It's not, if you're a little bit squeamish and you don't like some of the mysteries like the John Vernon and whatnot that I've talked about in the past, this book doesn't have that. It's not that bad at all. But anyway, great story. The backstory of the characters are unveiled throughout this story. To compare it to A Killing in the Hills, you don't know anything about Belle at the beginning. You get her whole life kind of doled out to you. This one, it's just, again, everything takes place on that day, so you learn as you go along what happened earlier in the morning. Very interesting book. Nevada Bar, CJ Box fans are going to like this. I'd give this to Cormac McCarthy. If you like Michael Connelly because of that grittiness, I think this fits along nicely. Originally, I would have paired this with a Cabernet Franc, but just this weekend I had this, I'm probably going to butcher this, Ethan Cucumber Vodka. Picture a cucumber in your garden, it falls on the ground, it's rolling around in the dirt. Your kids come along, they pile some dirt on there, they're using the dump trucks and everything. It gets scooted along. For some reason, you pick it up and just bite into it. Yeah, dirty, gritty. I didn't like the vodka. I liked the book, but I did not like the vodka. I'm sure it's wonderful in drinks, but it was so, just so earthy and just, I don't know, it created a mood, a visceral reaction on my part. So anyway, two wonderful books. Heading into the holidays for all you wine fans, especially if you're just getting into wines, I have two books for you. Eric Asimov's How to Love Wine. Asimov's been around for a while. He is the... We got to work on this note system thing. He is the main writer for the New York Times Magazine, chief wine critic. This is one, what his whole goal with this book is to get people over that hump of being afraid of wine. And when you read all these critiques and descriptions of wine, it's like, oh, it's a fig paste, but no, this time it's a roasted fig, it's a creamy fig, it's, you know, all kinds of weird fig stuff. He wants you to get past all that, and even advocates, like what I try and do is get at the kind of the context of the wine. Is it big bodied? Is it tannic? You know, what's it going to go with? So this is a nice book. So if you've been into wine and you want to learn a little bit more, this is a great one. Here's one, A Toast to Bargain Wines, George Tabor, who's written a few other books on wine. Just a great book. If you're looking for good bargain wines, he throws out lots of names. You know, Portuguese, Chilean, Argentinian. His favorite wine producers that are bringing in wines at under $10 a bottle. So this is a great little pickup. Last but not least, you know, I've talked about packaging and the bouquet and the appearance of books. Love this cover. Would You Eat Your Cat? Jeremy Strangroom, English gentleman. A little philosophy for it. It's a little bit heavy, but it's not written heavy. He brings up a bunch of ethical conundrums like eating your cat, other things like, are we morally obligated to end the world? But he writes it in a really nice style. Like this is in the context of James Bond talking to a supervillain. So you read a little ethical dilemma, and then in the back, it's kind of cool how it's set up. He gives responses, and he explains how different schools of philosophy would react to these different situations. So that's it. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in this year. This is our last episode of 2012. We will see you in the new year. Have a wonderful day.